act like rocket fuel for this immature hero energy. Thrill chasing, validation seeking, ego, bravo. But it's all masking vulnerability. And that energy doesn't just hurt the person you're caught in, it hurts the person or the people you surround you, right? The people you love the most. When you are sober, the line between love and betrayal is crystal clear. But when you're drunk, that line can disappear in a single conversation. Hello everybody, my name is Davy. I am not an alcoholic. I refuse to be anonymous. I am someone who lives a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck, and I spend every waking moment of that life helping other people do the same, like right now. Early in my life, when I was a teenager, the bar drink hookup loop felt exciting. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel ashamed of it because I was young. I was chasing the buzz. And I was chasing a body, anybody, every single night. And that is what my social world was all about back then, right? But here's the thing. When that pattern becomes your default, losing control, slipping into semi-blackouts, acting in ways you wouldn't do if you were sober, it rewires you. And that rewiring doesn't magically disappear when you settle down into a monogamous relationship. Because if you're in a relationship, sober, monogamous, and faithful to your partner, you're not really going to flirt and put yourself in a really uncomfortable or risky sexual situation with someone else. But if you're drunk and you're in a semi-blackout state, let me ask you, where's the line? What stops you crossing from banter into flirtation and from there into something worse? How many of you listening to this, who you have a partner you love, or maybe you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband that you loved in the past, how many of you have got drunk and flirted and ended up doing something sexual, even if it was a kiss, or maybe you end up sleeping with someone, with somebody, and the next day you regretted it, right? That's the danger I'm talking about, right? One massively drunken night can lead to a one-night stand that destroys everything because alcohol blurs, it bends, and it erases boundaries you would never ever cross in daylight. Now, when I was younger, my sexual default was driven by alcohol. Before I got married, I am not lying, 100% of my sexual encounters were alcohol related. I had drank alcohol when I had sex, and I had sex a lot before I met my first wife. Even in marriage, when I got married, the vast majority, especially towards the end, I would say towards the end of my relationship more than the beginning, the vast majority of sexual dalliances with my wife were when I was drunk. And I've seen this also in the men that I coach. This thing that if you have a part of you, an inner child, that takes the steering wheel of your psyche more often than not, and that part is selfish or self-centered, alcohol doesn't soften it. It amplifies it. Sex becomes about your orgasm, your experience, your climax. The other person almost disappears from the equation, right? A framework that helped me understand what the hell was going on in my life came from a book called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover by Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette. In the book, they describe 4 mature archetypal energies, which are king, warrior, magician, lover, right? But they also talk about the immature boy energies, right, of the masculine archetypes. Each one of them has its own immature versions. And one of the immature versions that I really related to that matches up with the mature archetype of the warrior was something called hero energy, right? Hero boy energy. And they use the example of Maverick, Tom Cruise's character in Top Gun, as this hero. Because Maverick wants to save the day, right? Everything about adrenaline, but it's reckless and it's self-driven. It's all about him and his actions and his behaviors in the movie trying to be the hero cost his best friend Goose his life. Alcohol can act like rocket fuel for this immature hero energy. Thrill chasing, validation seeking, ego, bravo. But it's all masking vulnerability. And that energy doesn't just hurt the person you're caught in, it hurts the person or the people you surround you, right? The people you love the most. And this vulnerability piece is really important, right? Alcohol allows you to escape that vulnerability. Even with all the work that I've done and with no alcohol in my life anymore, I notice moments when me and Liza will lock eye contact. Maybe a good example is actually when we dancing. So we'll be in the house and some music will come on and we'll go to dance. And she's looking me in the eye and I'll look away. And the reason I'm looking away is because in that moment with dancing, I am actually in a part. A part is activated, right? A protector part. And this part gets bit worried and feels unsafe about vulnerability. So I can't hold the gaze. I've noticed this a lot, right? Now compare that into moments when I am in full self energy, when I'm in bed making love to my wife. A great example is when my daughter Zia was born, when I'm holding my wife's hands and I'm looking into her eyes while she's going through her contractions. And I do not want to move away, right? It's a fully connected experience. It's so much different. In parts, it feels risky and exposing. And those parts, once they turn to alcohol to numb your discomfort, they run amok. Now, we're going to take a short break, but while I do, please ask yourself this question. If alcohol disappeared from your intimate life, what would be left? Closeness or a void? If alcohol has been your shortcut to connection, Strive Foundations will help you replace it with something real. We'll show you how to meet your intimacy needs from the inside out, so you stop chasing the wrong people in the wrong places for the wrong reasons. Because when you can connect to self, you never need liquid courage ever again. So join Strive Foundations, thestrivemethod let me try that again, www.thestrivemethod.com/foundations. You got it? Okay, back to the show. Welcome back to the 1000 Days Sober podcast. My name is Davy, and we are talking about the bar hookup, right? The bar hookup pattern. When we go to the bar, and we get drunk, and we just sleep with somebody, and then we wake up in the morning, and we feel shame, regret, guilt, but we do it all over again, right? How can we change this? Well, the way I changed it, I got myself out of that mindset, was changing my intimacy practice. What your nervous system repeatedly rehearses, okay? Because this isn't about sex. This isn't about thrill and having a good time. This is about loneliness. This is about a part of you feeling like you're missing something, that a need around intimacy and touch and community and togetherness, right, is missing from your life. And we're trying to find it in the bar. So here's how I got around that kind of nonsense, right? Number one, map your intimacy practice. Be brutally honest. When and where do you seek connection? Is alcohol always in the picture? Is connection only ever physical? Is it only ever sexual? And how do you feel afterwards? Map that out, journal it. Raise your self-awareness around it. Number two, meet the part that wants to hook up. So when you get the urge in your body to go to a bar, get drunk, and hook up with somebody, ask this part, what are you afraid will happen if we don't go out tonight? And then listen for the real need underneath. It will often be a need to feel wanted, safe, alive, soothed, something else, right? Number three, build your intimacy internally first, from self. So from self, soothe the part that wants to go out and hook up. Breath work, self-touch, movement, compassionate self-talk, or honest sharing with someone you trust. Give your system safety from within. Number four, practice alcohol-free connection. Great moments of presence, eye contact, slow conversation, grounded touch with no alcohol. Even though it might feel awkward at first, over time, your nervous system learns that connection can be safe without a drink. And that is sexy as fuck. When you are in self, even though you're a little bit nervous, even though you're a little bit anxious and uncomfortable, there's an energy there. There's an attraction. You can feel it. And it's totally different than when you're in parts energy. Number five, change environment. If bars are currently your hunting ground and you're just meeting drunk people and you're drunk, then spend the next few weekends in spaces where alcohol isn't the social glue. Dinners, hikes, classes, art, community events. I don't know where you go, coffee shops, right? Find a different way of meeting people away from alcohol. Because when you shift your practice from performing for validation to presence for connection, you stop needing strangers and shots to feel whole, and you start attracting people who can meet you as you are. Today's daily vow. Today, I will not drink. I will meet my need for connection from within. So I no longer need to look at it at the bottom of a glass or at a bar. The deepest intimacy you'll ever build is with yourself. Everything else is just an echo of that truth. As you wonder about the world today, ask yourself these questions. Where are you still using alcohol to bypass vulnerability? And what's one alcohol-free practice you could rehearse tonight instead of going to the bar? If you have a part whispering, just one night out won't hurt me, name it. That part is trying to protect you from discomfort, not to connect you to truth. Step out of its grip and act from self, okay? Please, please, please rate and review this podcast so others can find it, and subscribe so you don't miss a single show. And share it with another person who is stuck on this weekend loop and who's ready to choose something real. You ready to take the sovereign vow with me? Hand on your heart, on your belly, big deep breath, and repeat after me, okay? I am a striver who is alcohol free as fuck, and I will not drink alcohol today because that is not what I do, and that is not who I am. Until tomorrow, much love everybody, and strive on.